Hi, this is Andrew Parshad from Quality Smart Solutions. A question that we're getting quite a bit lately is where to manufacture your natural health products. So companies are obviously looking at ways to save costs and also save time. So obviously, if you're a U.S. company looking to launch in Canada a natural health product, there's you have to get the NPN, you have to have a compliant label, but you also need an importer of record. And lately, getting set up with an importer is taking quite a bit of time. Pre-COVID, we were seeing annexations of contract manufacturers. That's a requirement to use a Health Canada licensed importer. That contract manufacturer has to be annexed to that importer's license. And it used to take, about maybe 2-3 months to get done. Now it's taking quite a bit more. It could take as long as 9-10 months. And just Health Canada is still backlogged, and there's just a lot of efficiencies that they have to work through still, as well as resources. So, that puts kind of a damper on basically your time piece that you're considering. Number two is the cost. Now, the cost of raw materials, commodities, are always in US dollars, whether it's caffeine, ashwagandha, gold, silver, doesn't matter. Commodities are always in US dollars. Where you could save is on the labor cost and the manufacturing costs. Typically, you're paying in Canadian dollars in Canada versus US dollars in US manufacturers. And so that's where you really have to do an analysis to determine what's the cost in Canada versus the cost in the United States, at least on the labor manufacturing cost. So in the end, what is the delta? What are you really saving? Now, in terms of manufacturing, lead times in Canada, it's not so fast. If you're a startup, a lot of contract manufacturers are not going to prioritize your business for their production line. If they've got big clients and that big client comes to them and says, hey, I need 1 million bottles, made ASAP, they're going to prioritize them over you. So, lead times, at least what we've seen, we've heard, is typically anywhere from about 5-6 weeks on the low end. You don't hear that too often either. It's typically like 10, 20, could be even 30 weeks out. So, you really have to shop around, check with contract manufacturers, determine what their lead time is. In the United States, there's a lot more competition, a lot more contract manufacturers to pick from. Of course, quality may vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. You should always be asking, have they been inspected by the FDA? Have they gone through even maybe annexed to a Canadian manufacturer or Canadian importer? If they have, then that could attest to their GMP to some degree. But a lot more choice in the United States. You could have batches in like 500 bottles. Lead times could be faster. But again, there's a lot of factors you have to consider when choosing a manufacturer. Now, if you do manufacture in Canada your natural health product, then you bypass the importer of record. So that time that would have been spent to set up with an importer of record, you no longer need that. And there's a lot of obligations when you're using an NHP licensed or a Health Canada licensed NHP importer of record. It's not just your manufacturer being annexed. There's a lot of other commitments that you have. So you should really talk to an expert like ourselves, Quality Smart Solutions, and get the lowdown on all these pieces of making sure it's not just about the regulatory aspects, but understanding the operational and logistical components if you're considering where to manufacture your natural health product. This is Andrew Parshad from Quality Smart Solutions. Reach out anytime. I would be happy to serve your Health Canada and FDA compliance needs.